to save their political, their lack of their political constituency.
Sir, all
the
you need
point
to
today is reaching out to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, not allowing anyone to vitiate that.
But that's exactly what Yasin Malik is doing. But that's exactly what Yasin Malik is doing, with respect, sir. And you are aware of it. You are dodging the facts tonight. You have changed your line after you came to power.
The country has seen it. The people of Jammu and Kashmir will also see the truth.
Sir, we have allowed this man to go scot-free for far too long. I'm taking another caller tonight. GD Bakshi wants to come back. So does Sanjay Jha. Naba Bhattacharjee is calling in from Shillong. He's watching the news out there. Mr. Bhattacharjee, good evening. Can you hear me? Go ahead.
Yeah, good evening, Arnab. I want to ask a question to Mr. Kohli.
Yes,
it is really appalling that the Indian state always develops cold feet while dealing with the Hurriyat leaders. And you see, I think we are sending a wrong message to the whole world. This is a case of sedition, yet we are on the back foot. And we send a wrong message to the entire world. That means we have something to hide in Kashmir, or we have gone into some secret deals with these Hurriyat leaders for years and decades to come. So the entire world also feels that maybe the Indian state has got something to hide, or there is something. Why this compromise with these Hurriyat leaders?
And in any case
of sedition.
And in any case, with anyone,
I'll answer briefly.
No, anyone who comes in the way,
very briefly,
anyone who comes in the way between relief work and those who deserve to receive that.
Their anguish is genuine, Mr. Goswami. The anguish is genuine, but perhaps we should also bear in mind that this is the government that cancelled talks with Pakistan because the Hurriyat leaders were preferred to be spoken with by the Pakistani High Commissioner in Delhi. So we are not soft on them. We don't intend to be. We are very clear where the interests of India and Indians is.
Sir, I'm sorry. Sir, I'm sorry. When somebody... So when somebody,
just a few hours ago,
sir, when Sanjay Jha wants to come in and respond to you, once Sanjay Jha,
but our priority,
by the way,
what it is,
sir, the priority. 1 second, Sanjay Jha is coming in. Harish Salve is calling in. I'm getting a lot of people actually calling in and saying we want to talk about this. Harish Salve is one of them. Sanjay Jha, I'm coming back to you. Yes, Mr. Salve, you were watching and you said you'd like to have a word on this.
Arnab, I just saw this and I'm absolutely horrified at what I've seen. This clearly falls in the definition of treason, because he is persuading people not to take the help of the Indian army because it's the Indian army. There cannot be a greater assault on the sovereignty of this country. If you tell people who are ill, who are dying, who are likely to suffer a major tragedy, that don't take the help of the Indian army. Treason is the most serious offense in our penal code, more serious than murder. An FIR should have been registered. He and his gang should have been in jail by now. I don't know why the government is going lax on this fellow. And we have to send this message that our first priority is the tragedy, but priority 1A is also containing treason, which questions the existence of Indian state.
Well, I think, Mr. Salve, you put it out, basically, I thank you for calling in. Thanks, that's Harish Salve. Sanjay,
very good
Sanjay Jha, the point is, here's a group of people who are becoming irrelevant. Yeah, just GD Bakshi, you want to come in? I just wanted Sanjay Jha to come in because he raised his hand right there. And we are getting a lot of callers. I'm going to take a few more. Sanjay Jha, basically this, you develop cold feet when it comes to taking on the separatists. They're irrelevant. They're losing their relevance. They've resulted their sense that they are losing their relevance, as a result of which they carry out these dirty tricks. I mean, this is the opportunity for the BJP government to do what you did not in 10 years of the UPA.
No. Well, I can tell you, Arnab, that looking at the magnitude or the scale of destruction, I mean, it is absolutely the most callous kind of act that anybody can do. So when Mr. Yasin Malik is obstructing a boat, he is obstructing the state, and I think to that extent it is a very, very grave act. It cannot be treated as just another act for him to respond spontaneously or for his own whatever vitiated ends. I think this is a very serious kind of an obstruction, because here we are talking about desperate people looking for any kind of help they can get. Can I finish, please? Nalin,
So
can I
go ahead
finish?
and
I
take
think the
action
critical
to state
issue here,
subject.
let's
Who's
not bring
stopping you?
politics into it, because I'm also going to tell you,
No, I'm not.
I'm
I'm
also
just
going to tell you
simply
that you
adding
said
to the
no to
point.
Hurriyat leaders for speaking, but Rajnath Singh said he was open to talk. So don't get into a politics here. I think the bigger issue here is that yes, there is no denying that Mr. Yasin Malik's act is contemptible, and we need to take stern action. And now, whether it's the state government or the central government, I'm qualifying my statement. Whether it's the state government or the central government, appropriate action against Mr. Malik is absolutely the need of the hour, because it's sending a very wrong message to the people, not just in Kashmir but all over India, that are we weak in the forces of the forces that are trying to intimidate us.
I'm glad you're saying
of a humanitarian crisis.
I'm glad you're saying this
not
because
acceptable.
I'm glad you're saying this today. I'm glad you realized today, because when he insulted the whole country and he sat there in talks and sat there in protest together with Hafiz Saeed in Islamabad in February 2013, when we asked you, you looked the other way. When he came back to the country on an Indian passport, went to Pakistan and did that, you refused to take any action against him, Sanjay Jha. So you know what? The shoe pinches when it's on the other foot. General Bakshi is coming in. A couple of more callers tonight.
Just one
K. Narayan calling in from Bangalore. 1 second.
Arnab, just
one second. K. Narayan from Bangalore, and then General Bakshi is coming in. K. Narayan, good evening. Are you there, sir? Mr. Narayan, are you there, sir? Mr. Narayan,
yes, I am.
the viewer coming. Yes, Mr. Narayan, go ahead.
They have got.
Go ahead, Mr. Narayan.
I actually had a comment. This is more to do with what Mr. Kohli was saying earlier, and I tend to agree with him. The priority has to be with the people of Kashmir who have gone through an absolute catastrophe over the last couple of weeks. I also am appalled with what Mr. Sanjay Jha has been saying, because when he was actually in power for 10 years, they didn't do very much, as you just said. But I think, when Modi decided to pull out of talks with, the official talks recently, there was a lot of hue and cry about the maturity of this government and its ability to deal with our neighbors. I think, in hindsight, that position of the BJP government has turned out to be right. I think there's no doubt that law and order is a state subject, but as we see in Jammu and Kashmir, the state government has really not played much of a role. They've relied on the central forces, the army, as also the central government to dole out a lot of
General Bakshi, and one more caller, Mr. Narayan, good evening, thanks very much for calling. General Bakshi, yes please. I don't see commitment of action from anywhere.
Arnab, Arnab, I'd like to point out in all humility, this is bringing the armed forces of the Union into hatred. This is trying to incite hatred against the armed forces of the Union, engaged in their official duty, their sacred duty of providing relief and succor to the suffering people of Jammu and Kashmir. Hypocrisy, Arnab, is the worst sin. This man, Yasin Malik, this dwarf, he did not swim from his house. Arnab, he jumped into an army boat, right? He gratefully jumped into an army boat and he got himself rescued. Having had his miserable hide saved, this man pulls out women. He pulls out women.
In fact,
even if he had pulled out some Kashmiri men,
in fact,
it would have been a different thing.
Absolutely shameful.
I agree with you.
Sick women.
I agree with you.
I don't think this nation can take any more lying down. I don't think our armed forces need to be brought into hatred for the good job that they are doing, for doing their duty. I think they have shown a tremendous amount of restraint.
Well, in fact, anyone who undermines the efforts of the Indian Army or the armed forces at this time,
by removing the ladies from the boats, he doesn't even care for his own people.
Exactly. Well, they're scrambling for attention, but it is you who can act against them. Gentlemen, we have a lot of callers. I'm only short of time. Thank you for joining me on this debate on the News Hour tonight.